Let's go ahead and jam in another call here. Let's talk to Mike in Texas. Mike, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex. My name is Mike. I'm stationed here at Fort Hood. I'm originally from Dallas. What I'm about to tell you might hit home, so I'm sorry to do so. You might already know about it, but if you do, this might verify. I just got back from a tour in Iraq a few months ago, and what I did there was a security escort gunner. And the best way to describe that would be the opening scene of Iron Man, the people taking Tony Stark around. That's what we did. Of course, none of the civilians were near as cool, so it was a little bit difficult. Most of them are doctors of agriculture and doctors of science. We transport them all around. But the most interesting thing, and of course I have stories about that, but for another time, it's a little bit lengthy. But most importantly, one day we had one of our mission briefings in the very early morning. We had two guys come out in green jumpsuits. And they looked like our mechanics jumpsuits, but and they were wearing our gear as far as bulletproof vests go and IBAs and IOTVs. And I saw on their patch on their shoulder, they didn't have American flags, but they had Austin SWAT patches.
You there? Yeah, from Austin, Texas.
Yes, from Austin, Texas. Now, these are veterans, not veterans of our war, but veterans of Austin, Texas SWAT team. And it turns out what they were doing there was training to learn how we set up our military police checkpoints and how we do raids on houses.
Stay there. This is key info. Stay with us. I remember 12 years ago when the Delta Force was telling emergency manager Thomas Sanchez they were preparing for gun confiscation and martial law. They were just testing and actually finding out who would work with them and who wouldn't. Then I interviewed the San Antonio police chief. He kicked them out of their town. Then I went to the Travis County SWAT team and warned them, and they laughed at me. And then 6 months later, Lieutenant Beck was his name, called up and apologized and said, come to my office. Here's Delta Force's card. They were here. Do you know what this is about? And so all over the country since then, they federalized our police. It's part of InfraGard. It's part of the secret USA. Last week, the Washington Post reported on 854,000 private corporate chiefs with InfraGard, license to kill. And so you've had a corporate takeover of the government. So they're federalizing the police, but the feds themselves have been taken over. The military's being converted to contractors, and they are training the military on how to set up checkpoints, lock down cities, go door to door, and take guns. And now it's admitted in New York and Illinois, the military is going door to door in knock and talk. But Mike, going back to you, how long ago was this in Afghanistan? And specifically, Afghanistan is under martial law. Tell us about the type of military checkpoints you're training them in. And, I mean, they thought this was normal. I mean, give us any information you got, Mike.
Absolutely. But before I misinterpret, this was actually in Iraq.
Oh, Iraq. Okay, Iraq.
Right, and this was, I just got back about 6 months ago when I was there for a year. Now, what they were doing is they were seeing how they were doing. We were setting up our checkpoints, and you've got to understand, I'm sure that you do know, but in Iraq, it is complete and total martial law. And it's been going on for so long that the people are completely oblivious that they're even being oppressed. You would drive through one military checkpoint, get your vehicle searched, and before you even leave that checkpoint, 2 kilometers down the road, you can see where the next military checkpoint is going to be. So I don't even understand how they could possibly think that another car could get on the highway from no exit, but there will be another checkpoint just to make sure they did not miss anything. Now, these checkpoints are set up with barricades, and they have a pullover station with it covered in case they really want to deep search these vehicles. They have dogs. Each checkpoint has roughly 12 people, so they make sure to get the vehicles through relatively quickly, but it's still traffic all the time. Now, these people are so used to martial law that when we're driving down the road in our military trucks and we are about to hit traffic, it's too dangerous for us to stop. So we bump over the median and cross onto oncoming traffic. Now, if that were to happen here, Americans would be freaking out, pulling off the road, calling the police. But over there, they just know to pull over and slow down because it's happening again. It happens all the time.
Now, for those that don't know, well, here's an example. I took my children to Tube in the Comal River, and we were staying by Slitterbond and leaving Saturday afternoon. The police were there by the dozens, and they were taking photographs of the people getting off the tube trucks because, the truck picks them up at the end of the river. and harassing them and taking photos of everyone. And they had a checkpoint and a cover. And Americans are just being bathed in tyranny. And now they have Marine checkpoints, Army checkpoints against citizens. That's admitted. Did these Austin SWAT team guys understand how they were being acclimated and trained, or did they think it was fun?
I'm going to be honest with you. They thought it was fun. Now, these weren't guys that were fresh out of SWAT school. These were veterans, hardened, that are going to take what they learned here and go back and train the rest of their buddies and the noobs that come in. Now, I mean, there's a lot of theories, and I'm sure there's so many theories about how exactly and why exactly the Iraq War started, because there's so many you can't even list.
The Pentagon admits it's a giant laboratory. One reason is to train a giant cohort of troops to come here for martial law. Go ahead.
That's absolutely right. That's all it is. We've been there, and everyone in my unit, everyone in the Army who's been to Iraq, that's pretty much all you do, is you create martial law, and you're okay with it.
Is anybody seeing through this? Do they know that the bankers have taken over? Do they know they're planning to cut our energy off with the carbon tax?
I'm trying to wake them up. Not many, but enough to start something.
What were these guys' names in the Austin SWAT team?
This was what was weird. They had no name tapes. The only thing on their uniform was Austin SWAT, and they thought it was great that they were out there. In fact, they were passing out patches to us like we enjoyed having them out there.
It's totally illegal. Well, they've expanded Austin SWAT, and the city is completely criminal run. They just rob everything. The carbon taxes have been passed, and we just live in a hell, because wherever there's money, the parasites are going to be there sucking our blood. And I don't even want to go to New Braunfels now. I even got a ticket while I was there. I didn't even recognize my inspection sticker was out. But they were there. The cops were just looking at the public like they were T-bone steaks, man. And don't worry, cops. America's done. It's collapsing. You're going to have your way. Okay? Your children have no future. Good job, guys. You've ruined the country for the bankers. God bless you, Mike. We'll be right back.